long time ago, there was a young adventurer somewhere in a parallel universe, and his name was... Well, we're not sure about his real name. All we know is that his nickname was the Swordbreaker. Once, when he was in a tavern spending his last money on a pint of beer, he noticed two men at the next table arguing about something. One of them stood up, smashed a bottle against the table, and stabbed the other one with its jagged edges. The next minute, the villain was gone. The adventurer rushed up to the dying man. In his dead throes, the man grabbed onto the hero's clothes and, just before breathing his last, handed him a scroll. Later, when the hero shut himself in the room he'd rented for the night, he unrolled the scroll, which turned out to be an old map with a castle. The adventurer's face lit up. He was broke and badly needed money. So the next day, he set out on a great journey, full of dangers and chance encounters.
All right. Hello, Clover. Welcome to today's bonus stream of Swordbreaker The Game. I had a little extra time, so I figured I might as well punch this game out. So here we are, streaming. Happy Zombie Day. Hide your poultry, because Clover might chop off their wings. Let the games begin. Football is on? I know. My team's already over. I need that, but Walking Dead is on in an hour and 20 minutes. I've changed all my lights to red, so I figured I'll get the computer to match. Red, 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 red. Anyway, we are going to play Swordbreaker The Game. Let's break some swords. There's two shows on called Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond. Two cats.
There was a young adventurer somewhere in a parallel universe, and his name was... Well, we're not sure about his real name. All we know is that his nickname was the Swordbreaker. Once, when he was in a tavern spending his last money on a pint of beer, he noticed two men at the next table arguing about something. One of them stood up, smashed a bottle against the table, and stabbed the other one with its jagged edges. The next minute, the villain was gone. The adventurer rushed up to the dying man. In his dead throes, the man grabbed onto the hero's clothes and, just before breathing his last, handed him a scroll. Later, when the hero shut himself in the room he'd rented for the night, he unrolled the scroll, which turned out to be an old map with a castle. The adventurer's face lit up. He was broke and badly needed money. So the next day, he set out on a great journey, full of dangers and chance encounters.
Hello, Ghost Cow. Hello, Boo. And when are you gifting Boo AC Valhalla? Alright, new game. Let's turn on the whoa, 58 achievements. Holy hell. you want full transparency? Done. Alright, back. After a long, hard journey, Hero approaches Heated Castle. From the look of it, castle has been abandoned many centuries ago, but something gave him a mysterious feeling he wasn't alone. Adventure saw open window to the second floor. Which way to go? Walk through the gates or climb through the window? Let's climb through the window. Took the hero a lot of effort to climb up to the second floor on his armor. Now he's a guard room just above the castle gates. It looked like there had been a fight here. Dead warriors, or rather, their skeletons, were scattered on the floor. Suddenly, one of the skeletons moved and tried to stand up, raising his sword. Make a choice. I guess 3? Old Bones. That's a weird place for the achievements. Wait, the skeleton finally got up. The adventurer raised his sword. Wait! Cried the skeleton, leaning on his sword. The hero stopped and looked at the skeleton bewildered. I'm the guard captain of this castle. I can help you avoid the barricades unless you have a chat with the guardsmen. Oh, that's kind of cool. You could take away the menu. There were broken beds, chairs, and other pieces scattered. Choose between the guards. Run, fight the guards. Let's fight the guards. This is a weird point-and-click game. Hit or miss attack, go for a tackle. Let's go for a tackle. Adventurer made a dash for the skeletons and tackled them. I didn't realize this would be so much reading. Oof. You need to murder some chickens? Go play Sea of Thieves. I was doing it earlier. Problem was they were already on their guard, ready to attack. Should he hit one of the skeletons with his elbow or try to escape? Let's elbow him. Reading is good. The blow on the head was so heavy that the guard's skull fell right off. Now that one skeleton was down, there was only one left to deal with. Should the adventurer attack him from the top or retreat with the sword at the ready? Let's attack. The adventurer slashed the skeleton from the top, cutting him in half. I killed the skeleton guard. Okay. The armory. It was a big chamber with weapon racks and armor stands along the walls. Apart from the bow, swords, and shields put in order, the armory was a sorry sight. With huge holes on the floor. Then the adventurer saw 2 doors, one at the far end of the room and one at the other right. The hero opened the door on the right, the one at the end, or go take a look at the weapons. Let's check out the racks. The hero was so absorbed in the weapons he didn't hear the floorboards creaking under his weight, and before he knew it, the floor collapsed. The adventurer woke up on a pile of hay, and his hand smeared in someone's poop. Ugh, what a stench! This place badly needs a cleaning. Somewhere in the corner, there was a vicious boar looking for something in a bowl full of blood and bones. What? Would it be better to sneak through the castle, shoot, or attack the boar? Let's kill the pig. The adventurer decided to kill the boar, but how? Should he sneak up on the beast and slit its throat, or whistle to the pig? Let's give it a fighting chance. Sneaking up would be a dirty trick, thought the hero. Hey, you pig, he called. The boar turned around, and his eyes filled with blood. It was a huge, scary beast with long tusks sticking out of his mouth. The next second, it dashed at the hero. Should the adventurer retreat or choose to attack? We called for it to attack, so we are going to attack. The adventurer jumped out of the way, and the boar ran right past him. Should the hero dash the pig and chop off its head, or let him come closer first? Let's run at the boar. The adventurer raises his sword and rushes the boar. But the pig was not as dim and slow as he thought. It struck the hero in the guts with its strong head. The bow was so heavy that he fell to the floor. Just when the adventurer was trying to catch his breath, the boar headbutted the hero, killing him instantly. Damn! Only 10 minutes into the story and I am dead. Oh, I can redo my choice. Wait till he's closer. Oh, I did the same thing. What happens if we do it 3 times in a row? Oh, you are dead! Death scene's opened. That is funny. Castle map. Holy hell, there's a lot of places to go. I thought this was an easy 1K hour game, but it doesn't look like it. It's got very cool art. Alright, new game. Alright, we'll go through the gate this time. The hero found himself in the castle courtyard. It was in ruins and desolation. Everything was covered with a thick layer of dust. Among the clutter on the floor, the hero noticed a manhole leading to the sewers. There was a door nearby. What's your choice? Let's go to the door. Oh! Through the oak doors, the hero cautiously stepped into a spacious hall. Armor, weapons hanging on the walls, torn curtains in the windows. It seemed there was no one there. All of a sudden, a ghost of a naked girl appeared before him out of thin air. She floated up to the adventurer and said, "Hello, I'm the maid. Why did you come to the castle?" That made his eyes pop out. Nice ass, he thought. But what should he say to her? Okay, that's an interesting dialogue. Alright guys, what should I do? 1, 2, or 3? Seven, there is no 7. I'm tempted to do 3 just to see what the game will do. I know there's an achievement for 1, going to the library. We'll ask where the library is. The adventurer entered the huge library filled with ancient books and scrolls. There must be something worthwhile if you read it. The hero knew nothing about books and could hardly spell. The library was so dead silent, at the end of the hall he saw a door which said librarian. Should he dive into the books or go straight to the librarian? Let's go to the books. Whoa! The adventurer decided to take a closer look at the library. He went up to the bookcase and carelessly started going over the books when some volumes fell on the floor with a loud bang. The moment the door swung open, he saw the librarian boiling with anger. The monster charged at the hero, gave him a fatal blow to the head with a huge book. Alright, so let's go to the librarian then. When the hero was entering the librarian's office, he accidentally knocked a book down with his sword. Stay where you are, you dumbhead. You're in a library. Keep it down, will you? The orc-like creature howled when he heard the thud. But this must be the librarian, thought the adventurer. He's probably very smart and must know the way to the treasure. Should he say sorry or punish him for being so obnoxious? We're gonna apologize. I'm really sorry, I didn't mean it, said the hero. Oh, forget it. If you want to survive and don't mind helping me on the way, go to the archives. Bring me that old textbook on nuclear physics. How do they have a nuclear physics book? I wouldn't go there myself. I'm too afraid of bugs, said the librarian. Fetch the book or kill him. Let's go look for the book. The hero walked to the door leading to the archives. Should he open it or forget it and get out of here while the librarian is not around? Let's get on with it. Whoa! As soon as he entered the archives, the hero saw why the librarian was so reluctant to go there. Roaches, lots and lots of them, were scurrying around the room. One of the bugs, a really huge one, was getting closer and closer. The adventurer should chop its legs or head off, or maybe choose better scare the roach by crushing the smaller ones. Work off with its head. Cockroach. Kill the cockroach. The adventurer cut the roach's head in two while... Ooh, another one. Book friend. Help the librarian. The adventurer cut the roach's head in two while beating the bugs off with his other hand. When the small roaches saw their leader dead, they scattered. As soon as the hero found the book, he heard the librarian's voice from behind. "I don't know how to thank you," he said, and grabbed the book from the hero's hands. "With my magical powers, I can send you to the dining hall or to our garden. So where do you want to go?" he asked. "Let's go to the garden." Hero entered the magnificent large garden enclosed with a glass dome. Many windows were broken, others were too dirty. To the right and to the left where the path were different plants unknown to the adventurer. Then he noticed some watering cans down the path to his right and a beautiful withering flowers. Should the hero water it? Sure, let's water the flower. The kind-hearted adventurer took watering can and watered the withering flowers. As soon as it felt the water, the flower raised its petals and suddenly shot a cloud of spores at the hero. When the spores got into his lungs, the adventurer felt sick, starting to suffocate, and a moment later fell breathless on the floor. Okay, we died. We're gonna move on. The hero decided to stay away from the weird flower and went on. A little further ahead in the bushes, he saw a huge flower in a beautiful pot, piercing on a pedestal. The flower itself looked and smelled disgusting. Should the adventurer approach the flower or make his way through the bushes and quietly leave the garden? Let's escape. And hello, Jess. Today is story time, apparently, because I didn't know this was a reading point and click. It's a very interesting story so far. Let's walk up to the flower. Oh geez. Adventurer went up to the horrible flower. As soon as it felt the hero's presence, it opened its mouth to try to attack him. That's not very friendly. I'll have to destroy you, thought the hero, and prepared for battle. Should he cut the stem or let the flower swallow him? We're gonna cut the stem. The hero rushed to the wicked flower and hacked at its stem with the sword, but the plant was left intact. The stem was way too thick. The next moment, the flower attacked the hero and bit off its head. A plant diet is not as good as they say, after all. So we died! Again! That's the second death. Alright, new game. We're gonna go through the door. We're gonna go through the door. And we're gonna try number 3 this time. We did number 1 and went to the library. So we're gonna be a perv. The hero gave the maid a good smack on the ass, as he used to with the tavern girls. Dumbfounded, the maid let out a piercing shriek, so shrill the hero's eardrums burst in his head and exploded. Wow, she killed him. Alright, so we're not going to do that again. Which means we need to do 2. Curious. You listen to the castle history. Thanks for that host sub. Hey, the GIF is working this time. And look, I got rid of the green, thanks to Ima's suggestion. I'm gonna rage quit. How am I gonna rage quit? The castle belongs to Neo the Fourth. He spends all his time in the treasury full of stolen jewels. He hasn't left the vault with the biggest and most expensive diamond in the world for more than 1,500 years. Too much reading. He asked me not to disturb him. The castle itself is throbbing with life. Well, if you call it life, that is. When the Lord left, the castle was so occupied by a band of necromancers from the dead slumber. Some of the things to see in the castle are the kitchen, the prison, the torture chamber, the library, the armory, the Lord's chambers, the portal chamber, and the magnificent examples of the ancient art. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Through the oak doors, the hero curiously stepped into the spacious hall. Armor, weapons hanging on the wall. Well, we already did this. Okay, so we need to go to the library, I guess. We're not going to smack her, because we'll die. Alright, so we go to the librarian. Let's punish the librarian. We didn't do that. Who does that schmuck think he is? Thought the hero and attacked the librarian. But the orc saw it coming and cast a spell at the same moment. Now the adventurer had to do something about the fireball sweeping towards him. Should he deflect it with a sword, duck, or dodge the attack? Let's repel the fireball. Deflecting the fireball was a very stupid idea. The sword couldn't stop it. The hero got hit with the ball and fell to the ground, his clothes on fire, burning alive. Not the best way to die. Alright, so let's try to make a dive. The hero ducked just when the ball whooshed over his head, setting the bookcase on fire. Should the adventurer throw the sword at the librarian or come closer? Let's get closer. The adventurer took a few steps towards the librarian and raised his sword, but the orc was faster. He cast another spell, froze the arrow, went through his hero's stomach. You're dead. So we've seen 34 of 333 scenes so far. We've seen 7 of 125 death scenes. Interesting. Alright, new game. We're gonna go through the gates. We're gonna go through the door. We're gonna go to the library. We're gonna go to the librarian. We're gonna punish the librarian. It is. We're gonna shove the bookcase this time. Ooh, the hero dodged the fireball and pushed one of the bookcases at the librarian, crushing him on the floor. The orc was still alive. Let's kill him. The adventurer entered the door, which said infirmary. In the past, it was used for treating people living in the castle, but now it was abandoned. In front of him, the hero saw a long hallway with several doors on both sides. Nurse's office, general practitioner, women doctor, and head doctor, Mr. F. Crooker. The hero could also go further down the hallway. Let's go to the nurse's office. Hello, nurse. When the hero entered the nurse's office, he couldn't believe his eyes. Everything was in ruins. Beds, drip feeds, syringes, and dead bodies were scattered all over the place. What was worse was about a dozen decaying nurses stood around the room. As the adventurer walked in, he stepped on a glass syringe, breaking it with a loud noise. The nurses turned to the sound. What should the hero do? Attack them with a sword, sneak past them, perhaps under a bed, and wait till they're all dead for sure? Let's attack. Ooh. Without thinking twice, the hero went for the nurse standing closest to him. As soon as her head dropped to the floor with a loud bang, all the other nurses came to life and shuffled toward the adventurer with their scalpels and scissors. The operation was a success, but the patient died. Alright, so we're going to sneak past the nurses. Adventurer sneaked between zombie nurses very quietly and saw two doors. Which to choose? Let's go to the left. The adventurer entered the kitchen. The whole place was in a creative mess. There were piles of dirty dishes in the kitchen bins next to the stove. The hero also noticed a trapdoor on the floor. A huge fat cook was standing with his back to the adventurer, with a cleaver in his hand. Should the hero sneak past the cook? Let's sneak past him. Oh! The adventurer thought he'd rather sneak past the cook, but just as he was passing him, the cook threw his cleaver at the hero's back, killing him. Alright, then we're going to talk. Hi! Hello, the hero said in a timid voice. Hello, said the fat cook. What are you cooking for? The adventurer asked. For Lord Necromancers, sir. He's the master, and the leader of the Dead Slumber Order. He's very powerful. He's the one who cannot be named, just as he's got a very long name, you see, and he'll be furious if I don't cook his dinner in time. I can bet ye me finger on that, said the cook, rumbling two stumps on his hand. Ye know what? Ye could help me. I need ye to go down to the cellar and fetch me a bottle of wine. They're having a party with succumbus. I do it myself, ye know, but I won't fit under the trapdoor. So, are ye in or not? Oh. You can trust him by inverse property of never trust a skinny cook. True. Alright, should I help him, refuse, or kill him? Let's help him. Okay, I'll help you, said the hero, and went to the cellar. Whoa! The adventurer climbed down the dark, torchlit cellar. It was packed with bottles of wine, with an odd jar of pickles. The cellar smelled of mouse droppings and dampness. While the adventurer was looking for the right bottle, a huge rat reaching the hero's waist emerged from behind the rat. The rat bared its teeth and went for the hero. Should he attack the beast with the sword or throw a torch at it? Let's set the place on fire. Rat. Kill the rat. The adventurer grabbed the torch from the wall and threw it at the giant rat, hitting it on the head. Its fur caught fire and the beast dashed off squeaking. Then the hero had no trouble finding the right bottle on the dusty racks and got out of the cellar. The hero brought the bottle of wine to the fat cook and proudly gave it to him. The fat cook took the wine and thanked the hero. Now we can go on. The adventurer found himself in a long hall with glass ceiling. It used to be the Lord's oceanarium. Some glass was broken, so there was no water in the aquarium overhead, but the hall itself was flooded up to the hero's waist. There were some boxes and other junk floating on the water. Underneath he could see some fish. Did he make his way further or take a closer look at the bottom? Let's dive. Dive, dive. Oh! The adventurer plunged in the water. He saw some fish coming towards him. In the blink of an eye, they sank their teeth into his exposed face, and a stain of blood appeared on the surface. There was no way the hero could defend himself. We died. Alright, new game. So we're going to go through the gates. I haven't gone down the manhole yet, but let's go to the door. We're going to the library. We're gonna go to the librarian. We're gonna apologize. We haven't fought. Let's fight him. Oh, it's the same thing. Of the bookcase. And let's spare his life this time. Alright, now we can go to the nurse's office. Sneak. The left one. Talk. What? I wanted to talk. Oh, talk. Let's kill him. I'm not helping those who serve those damn necromancers, exclaimed the hero and drew his sword. The cook raised his cleaver and went for the adventure. Should he attack the cook with his sword or let him come closer? Let's attack. Oh, the adventurer made a dash for the cook and tried to slash him with his sword, but the fat man dodged the attack and severed the hero's sword arm. While the adventurer was trying to cope with the shock and stoop to bleeding, the cook opened the trapdoor and threw him down. The hero fell in the water with some monster lurking nearby. Dinner served. Alright, so we'll wait. The cook approached the adventurer and swished his cleaver. By some miracle, the hero managed to dodge the attack and was now ready to strike back. Should he attack the cook with his Swordbreaker or turn to the saucepan? Let's go to the saucepan. The hero turned over the saucepan with the boiling soup, spilling it on the cook's feet. When he yelled with pain, the adventurer raised his sword and chopped off his head. Now he could go on. Alright, couple achievements. Just like in school. You visited the study class. So we've been playing for 32 minutes and I have 10 of the 58 achievements. Jeez, this month I am doing bad on the leaderboard. Jordan's ahead of me. Radical Havor's ahead of me. Who is ahead of me? Clover's behind me. Dementia's behind me. Jess is way behind. Jess needs to catch up. Sub, you need to catch up too. You're terrible at Shivo hunting. How do I go back? Alright. The adventurer entered the classroom with some desk and a blackboard. The floor was tilted in the back. The floor was tiled in black and white. The Lord's children probably used to study here, but now it was dead silent. There were 2 notes on the desk, close to the hero. The other one in the back. The adventurer choose the note on the table or move on. Let's read the note. You have a few, Jess. The adventurer decided to read the note. It was probably written by a child. On the note said, "Our biology teacher showed us her botanical garden today. There were lots of flowers there, and one of them was huge and really scary. She told us if we didn't study harder, she'd feed us to it. We're so frightened that we tied her up and fed her to the plant instead. And in case she rises from the dead, we've mined the classroom floor. You can only step on the black tiles." The hero carefully walked to the end of the classroom, skipping the white tiles. There was another note on the back desk. Did he read it? Yes, let's read the note. Oh no. The note said, "Ha, we got you. This note was part of Plan B, in case you survived the mines on the floor, and now drop dead." The moment the adventurer felt a burning sensation on his head. Or on his hands. The note was poisoned. The hero tried to gasp for air, but it was no good. Breathless, he collapsed on the desk, feeling the agony of death. Alright, continue. Alright, we died. Jeez. Alright, new game. We're gonna go through the gate. Door. Library. Go to the librarian. We'll apologize. Let's look for the book. Let's escape this time. To hell with that cranky librarian, thought the adventurer. Instead of going to the archives, he stumbled in a room with hangers and shelves full of clothes. It was probably a wardrobe department. Maybe he should try on a dress. Alright, let's put on a dress. So you have 3 lives. So once you die 3 times, then your story's over. Oh, when he was trying to... See, there's three hearts and one just went away up at the top. When he was trying on a dress, the hero didn't see the librarian entering the theater. You pervert! You thought you'd run away from me wearing a dress? He exclaimed. He grabbed the hero by the throat, broke his neck. Alright, we're not trying on a dress, we're gonna go on. The adventurer found himself in a small theater, with just a few rows of seats and a stage. On the stage, he noticed a small mirror. Should he take a look or walk past it? Let's take a look at the mirror. The hero looked in the mirror and left the theater. Okay. The adventurer entered a carpentry shop full of half-finished bows, arrows, and spades. In the corner, he saw tables and woodworking machines. A strong smell of wood was in the air. In the center of the table, he saw... In the center, there was a table saw with a sign saying, "Out of order." Should the hero try to find out how it works, or have a better look around? Why we need to use the table saw, but let's use it. The adventurer went around the table, touched the saw, looked in the holes, and before he finally noticed a button on the side, without thinking twice, he pushed the button, and the saw went spinning wildly. The next second, it creaked out and whooshed right into the hero's face. Well, that's menacing. Alright, we are not going to use the table saw. The adventurer thought he should take a better look around the place. As he was walking along the wall, he stumbled on a weird wooden creature that looked like a human. Well, not quite human. It was an upgraded version of Wooden Man, with a built-in buzzsaw in his hand, and the cylinders attached to his back. When the hero touched him, the creature came to life, his eyes glaring. System launched. Timbernator is on. Intruder detected. Starting destruction protocol, said Timbernator. Jess, you need to tell Timber there's a creature called Timbernator. That is funny. Should the hero attack him? Or, let's see. I take a print screen and send it to Timber. Timbernator, should the hero attack him? See what the android is going to do first, or try to escape from the workshop? Should we attack Timbernator? Attack. Oh, that's a death. The adventurer dashed towards Timbernator, and when the android suddenly launched the combat system check, activating his buzzsaw, the hero couldn't stop and threw himself right at the saw. A second later, all that was left of him was a neat pile of first-rate steaks. You are dead. Wife, if you can hear me, come here. Get good? Well, I die. We're gonna go through the gate. Door. Library. Librarian. Apologize. Look for the book. Escape. Go on. Let's move on. The hero thought he'd better off without that junk and went on. The door leading to the next room was locked. Should the adventure burst open? Break it down. Oh no. The hero took a run and burst the door open with his shoulder. The problem was, he was running so fast he couldn't stop. As soon as he broke inside, the cauldron of concentrated acid spilled all over him. It was a trap. The hero fell on the floor, doubled over with excruciating pain while the acid was eating away his flesh and bones. Hello, Olkesh. We died. Alright, so we're gonna try to open the lock. The adventurer picked the lock with a nail and managed to unlock the door. As he entered, a cauldron full of acid nearly dropped on his head. Whew, that was close. The hero found himself in a large organ hall with rows of seats and a massive organ next to the wall. Should he play the organ? Let's play it. Or no, yeah, let's play it. Maestro, you played on a piano. In spite of having a tin ear, the adventurer sat down at the organ and began to press the keys at random. Having played to his heart's content, the hero stood up and headed for the exit when he saw a man in a tall coat jump up from behind the back row with his flute in his hands. "Bravo! Bravo!" he cried and clapped his hands. The hero gave him a puzzled look and went on. The adventurer stumbled on a door which said laboratory, and he went inside, and he found himself in a spacious room with various metal frames and other junk. The tables were covered with some equipment, microchips, and wires. Next to one of them, he noticed a piece of pipe. Did the hero rummage through the junk on the tables? Let's poke around. Oh no. The hero was going through the junk when he saw a pile on the floor, turning into a metal monster. The next second, a golem-like villain went for the hero. What should he do? Attack? Or throw the pipe at him? Let's throw the pipe. The hero grabbed the pipe and threw it at the golem. The pipe knocked out one of the parts from his metal body, but it got back in its place in no time, as if attracted by a magnet. As soon as the monster retrieved the missing part, it went for the adventurer. Did the hero short-circuit the golem with some wires, or turn the table over? Let's short-circuit. The adventurer grabbed a couple of wires and jabbed them into the golem's body, electrocuting him. The hero was thrown several meters back, and the metal monster got torn apart. All that was left was the golem's shiny glass heart. Let's take the heart. Oh! The glowing heart had a mesmerizing effect on the adventurer, and he decided to take it. As soon as he put it in the palm, his body started to shake uncontrollably. Golem's heart gave him an electric shock. The hero couldn't unclench his fingers to drop the artifact, and was zapped to death. No! Alright, so we're gonna leave the heart. Alright, we've been here, so we're gonna go on. The hero went making his way through the water until he saw Finn at the far end of the hall. It was a shark. Baby shark, do 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 do. And it was coming closer and closer. Let's attack. The adventurer prepared for the attack, and when the shark was close enough, it stabbed it in the side, just avoiding the sharp teeth. The wounded shark went for the hero again. Should he strike with his Swordbreaker or throw one of the dresses floating around? Let's throw a dress. The hero caught the right moment and threw some rags on the shark's snout. Hey, we got the achievement, kill the shark. After that, he had no trouble plunging his Swordbreaker from his top. The shark was finally dead, and the adventurer could go on his way. Aliens? This castle has everything. I love the art, though. The adventurer found himself in a massive hall with a hole in one of the walls. Among some rubble, he saw a large metal disc with shining lights around the surface. There was smoke coming out of the saucer. It had clearly been damaged. Next to it was a strange, greenish, big-eyed creature sitting on the rock. It looked very sad. Should the adventurer sneak past the creature or talk to it? We're going to talk to the alien. The hero decided to talk and went up to the creature. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? Where do you come from? Asked the hero. Greetings, Earthling. I am Zet. I'm one of the Magikits, a humanoid race. I deliver ammunition for alien tech. For Alien Tech Interstellar Corporation, AT for short. In case you're not aware, there's a war going on in between the Interstellar Confederation and the Free Planets Coalition. Confederation is losing at the moment. We don't have enough weapons, so our corporation has commissioned Hands, the local blacksmith, to supply nuclear rockets for the IC. I've come here to pick up the rockets, but on my way to the castle, something went wrong with the autopilot. My spaceship crashed on the wall instead of landing on the courtyard. Now the ship is badly damaged. I went out on a SOS, and we'll now have to wait for our guys to respond, said the alien. The Venture could hardly follow Zet. Why am I telling you this? As if I tried to explain the corpuscular and wavy theory of light to you. A countryman like you won't get it anyway. The only thing you could do for me is clear the debris, said Zet. Should the Venture help him? Yes, let's help him. Okay, I can help you with that, said the Venture. So they set to work together. The alien from one side, the hero from the other. They were almost done when the spaceship suddenly skidded down to the rubble towards the Venture. Did he run for his life or warn Zet? Let's give Zet a heads up. Zet friend. Oh, Zet! As soon as the hero called Zet, the alien pressed the button on his suit, and the Venture got teleported into the other end of the room. Thanks for your help. Just give me a shout if you need me, okay? Zet. Now the hero could go on. The next moment, the hero found himself in a spacious, luxurious room with a magnificent bed next to the wall. This was the chamber of Lord Neo IV himself. Venture felt some dark vibes from this place. It was as if someone was watching him. What should he do next? Rummage through the wardrobe for something useful or lie down on the bed? Let's get some sleep. That's a interesting drawing. The Venture lay down on the magnificent bed and fell asleep. In his dream, he was in a strange place, called the Astral World. Once inside, the hero found himself in a spectacular, otherworldly room. Suddenly, a beautiful girl appeared before him out of thin air, beckoning him. Should he approach her? Why not? Oh! She killed him. The Venture gave in to temptation and went to the girl's call. She kissed and hugged him, and only then did the hero realize he made a huge mistake. She sucked all the vital forces from him until he was completely drained of energy. So we've died 18 times. New game. Go to the gates. Door. Library. Librarian. Apologize. Look for the book. Escape. Go on. Move on. Open the lock. Leave the hall. What? I've got no time for that, thought the Venture, and went onto the other door when suddenly a man with a tall coat jumped up from behind the chair and shot a poisoned dart at the hero with his flute. The dart hit the Venture in the neck, killing him instantly. Well, that's rigged. Guess we have to play the organ. Let's get out. We are not watering the flower. That killed us. Escape. Good talk. Help him. Heads up. Get some sleep. No way. I know you. You're that damned succubus who wasted so many lives in this castle, shouted the hero. Oh, do you? Well then, you just gave me another reason to kill you, said the succubus, smiling at the adventurer. The demoness summoned a whip and gave it a wave. Should the adventurer dash away or try to fend it off with a sword? Let's escape. Well, that didn't work. The adventurer tried to run away, but her whip caught up with the hero, twisting itself around his neck. As the snare started to strangle him, Succubus gave it a jerk and pulled the whip. The adventurer was too weak to strike back and choked to death. Alright, we will ward off. The adventurer saw the whip coming at him. He waved his sword and cut off its end. The next second he threw his sword at the demoness, but Succubus defeatedly moved aside. Now that he lost his sword, what should the hero do? Dash at the demoness and strike her with Swordbreaker, or see what she's gonna do next? Let's Swordbreaker attack. Without thinking twice, the hero rushed to the demoness and plunged his Swordbreaker into her flesh. Succubus let out a moan and sagged sage to the floor. When her body began to disappear, the adventurer found himself lying on the bed. Then he got up and went on his way. Oh, now the portal room. The adventurer entered a dark room. In the corner there was a man in black armor, sitting on a chair. The room didn't have any more doors. In the other corner he noticed a glowing magical portal. This must be the portal room. Who are you? Asked the hero. I'm Sylvester. I'm the Knight of the Tempest Fate. It is my job to protect this portal from necromancers, said the man. Oh, I was just looking for them. And for the treasure. Will you let me through? Asked the adventurer. Only you could choose your path. How did you prove yourself? Who did you help? Did you kill a lot? Or maybe you have a yellow streak down your back. I can read you like a book, you know. This room will lead you to your destiny. Prepare yourself and enter the portal, said the knight. The hero entered the glowing portal. The hero entered the glowing portal, and the reality warped around him. When the adventurer opened his eyes again, he found himself in a spacious room with 4 magical portals. What kind of trial is that? The hero wondered. Then he heard the Knight of the Temple of Fate. Your actions have shown your true colors. You escape from danger all the time and never tried to help anyone. Because you were a coward, so the trial you deserve. So in the trial you deserve, you will have to face a wimp just like you. A freak of nature who's not worth living. This world. I give you Sponge Boo, cried the knight. The next moment, the strange creature came out of the portal. It really was a huge sponge, which looked ridiculous and silly. Should the hero slash it with his sword, or talk? Should we attack Sponge Boo or talk to Boo? I think we're gonna attack Boo. Oh! They think I'm a coward? Well, I'll show them they're wrong, thought the hero, and he went for Joe. Billy Joe had no idea what was happening and moved aside. The adventurer rushed past him with his sword at the ready and got into the closing portal. The problem was, the hero got wedged in the portal as it was closing. The door slammed, cutting him in two. Well, that was a game and a half, literally. Boo killed us. New game. Alright, let's go through the gates. Let's go into the sewer this time. Ugh, what a stench. The hero climbed down the ladder and found himself at the bottom of the sewers full of rats, bones, and dirty pools. On the wall, he noticed some weird-looking mushrooms glowing in the dark. Should the adventurer go down the tunnel, each a mushroom... Oh, there's a typo right there. Eat a mushroom, or rummage the pile of bones. Let's eat a mushroom. Now that's what I call a magic mushroom. Really, one of a kind, said the hero, and was just about to eat some. Should the adventurer eat the cap? Should we eat the cap or the stem? I think we eat the cap. The moment... I love Amsterdam. You tried to eat a strange mushroom. The moment the hero ate the cap, he nearly threw up. But he swallowed, and then he saw his hands start to disappear. The next moment, his whole body vanished. This is my lucky chance, he thought, and he ran through the long, winding corridors. He ran past a huge three-headed dog, a gross snail-like monster, walked past the axeman, sleeping in the torture chamber, and grabbed the key hanging in the sewer's elf's belt chain, and sneaked behind the door. He made it. Attaboy. The hero went through the door quickly and looked behind him. In front of him was a low tunnel, propped up with wooden supports, and a signboard which said uranium mine. The tunnel diverged, forming three smaller ones. Which tunnel should he choose? Left, right, or middle? Let's go down the middle. As he was walking down the tunnel, the hero noticed some rocks falling down from the ceiling. Should he run through the tunnel or wait under the wooden beam? We're going to take cover. Hiding was a good idea. The adventurer would surely have been buried under those rocks. After the cave-in, the hero cleared the way for the debris and crawled on. Further on, there were rail tracks and mine carts, some buckets, pickaxes, and miners' bodies were scattered around. We're going to take a ride. The adventurer got in the cart and set off. Green crystals and uranium glowing in the walls lit his way. Apart from a small accident with two zombie miners, he smashed on the way. The trip was rather uneventful. Finally, the cart came to a stop, and the hero could explore more of the mine. There was a huge hole with a ladder going down, lots of wheelbarrows, spades, and dead miners down below. Should the adventurer climb down? We're gonna go down. The adventurer climbed down the ladder. Dead miners, pickaxes, and buckets were all over the place. Within the rocks, the hero noticed a greenish uranium veins. Should he chop a piece off for himself or go on? Let's take some uranium. Oh! The adventurer chopped a piece of uranium with his sword to take a closer look. Little did he know that the uranium is extremely radioactive. A couple of minutes later, his skin started to peel off. He felt sick, fell on the ground, and died of radiation poisoning. Alright, so we're gonna move on. Rather than messing around with the uranium, the hero thought he'd better get out of here. Should he go back or try to find another exit? We're gonna find another passage. The hero went around the pit and found a passage hidden behind some boards. The passage led the hero to iron gates, which said, Maze of the Minotaur, surrounded by a stone wall. There was no way back now. He'd have to enter. The adventurer went on into the maze. It was made of stone. Stone walls covered with plants and moss. Bones of fallen warriors were scattered here and there. Too bad the hero didn't have a dog with him. Which way to go? Left or right? Let's go to the left. The adventurer turned left and went on. Finally, the passage led him to a pile of bones on the ground. There must be a trap somewhere nearby. Should the hero walk through this bit really slowly or take it running? We're gonna jump. The adventurer jumped over the strange pile and went down the maze. He came to a crossroad with two passages going right and straight ahead. Fresh hoof prints were on the ground to the right. Could these be the Minotaur's traces? Should the adventurer follow him or go straight? We're gonna go straight. The adventurer went straight ahead, and soon he found himself in a place with a small fountain. Should the hero come closer and have some luck? We're gonna go to the fountain. The hero decided to approach a fountain. As soon as he leaned over the water, he heard arrows swooshing over him. He didn't realize he'd stepped on a hidden button on the cobblestones. His thirst saved his life, after all. When the adventurer finished pondering over twists of fate, he continued on his way. The next moment, we're in this bed again. Let's go to the wardrobe. Oh! No time for sleep now, thought the hero, and started rummaging through the wardrobe. Clothes everywhere. Nothing useful. Then the adventurer felt a cold metal against his neck. He hadn't noticed Succubus, who'd snuck up behind him, slit his throat with her dagger. Now he was dead. The hero could sleep as much as he liked. He had all the time in the world. Alright, so I guess we're gonna get some sleep. No way. We need to ward off the whip. I think weight will kill us, so let's Swordbreak. We're at the portal. Thanks for that host, Radical. Hopefully your stream went well for your 12 hours. That's a lot. To the portal. Whoa. Greatest hero. Get a heroic title from the knight to the Temple of Faith. The hero entered the glowing portal and reality warped around him. When the adventurer opened his eyes again, he found himself in a small room with a window. This must be one of the castle's towers. What kind of trial is that? The hero wondered. Then he heard the knight of the Temple of Fate. You are a brave and kind-hearted warrior. You have helped many in this castle, and even spared some in battle. For the trial you deserve, you will have to face the astral demon that lives in the tower and keeps a kidnapped princess as his prisoner. If you defeat the demon, you will bask in glory for years to come, said the knight. The next moment, the skies opened, and the astral demon with the flaming sword entered the room through the space rift. Should the hero attack the demon or talk? We're going to attack. The adventurer rushed to attack, but some mysterious force lifted him up in the air. It was the work of the astral demon and his magic power. As the demon was getting closer and closer, the hero had to decide what to do next. Throw his sword at the monster or wait till he's closer. We're going to wait. The adventurer waited patiently for the demon to come closer. And when he did, the hero plunged his sword into the demon and crushed his skull with the Swordbreaker to make sure he was dead. The demon started to vanish in thin air. The spell was lifted, and the hero tumbled to the floor. The adventurer gathered his strength and entered the second room in the tower. Inside, he saw an iron door with a huge padlock. Behind the door, he heard someone crying. Should the adventurer knock it down with a sword or pick it with a nail? We're going to lockpick. What if it's a trap? Thought the hero, and he picked up a nail. A couple minutes later, he managed to open the door. He entered a tiny room with a saw, and saw a gorgeous girl in a magnificent dress lying on a bed. She stopped crying and looked at the adventurer. Who are you? What do you need? She asked cautiously. I've come for you. There's no time to explain. Come on, I have to take you to a safe place, said the adventurer. But I can't leave the room. The Lord of Necromancers will find me anyway, she said. Right, then I'll go slit the old perv's throat and come back, said the adventurer, and he headed for the exit. Wait, let me give you my blessing, or you won't sustain the Necromancer's curse. By the way, I'm Princess Anastasia, she said. Should the adventurer agree? Sure, we're gonna agree. Sure, it won't hurt me, said the adventurer. Anastasia whispered something, waved her hand, and then gave him a kiss on the cheek. That was just a preview, she said, blushing. Hero climbed down the spiral stairs and entered the throne room. The necromancer was standing in the middle. I see you prepared well. My spell had no effect on you, the Lord said in surprise. Yes, I know what you're up to, said the adventurer, Oh right, you must have met my niece, beautiful Anastasia. You like her? She's gonna be my wife soon. Niece and wife? Ooh. And together we will have such a power you can't even imagine, said the necromancer. Yes, she is good. Too good to be yours, I'd say. But I'd keep her to myself instead. As for you, take this, the hero cried angrily and attacked the warlock. Meanwhile, the necromancer cast a spell. Would the adventurer rush the lord or throw a sword at him? Let's throw our sword. Oh, that's a death. By the time the adventurer threw his weapon, the necromancer had finished with the spell, freezing the sword in the air. The next moment, it turned around and, with a slight push from the lord, whooshed back into the hero. The sword was so fast it didn't even realize how it happened. Death is always a sad outcome, but death from your own sword makes it pathetic. We are dead. Alright, let's do one more run. New game. Let's go through the window this time. Let's jump out the window, see what happens. Alright, we'll go down the manhole. We'll eat a mushroom. We'll eat the stem. Oh, as soon as the hero chewed on the stem, it started suffocating. Still trying to gasp for air, the adventurer fell on the floor, died, unable to take another breath. Alright, so we need to eat the cap. Let's take the left tunnel. The tunnel led the adventurer to a huge cave with massive stalactites. In front of him, a wide, dark underground lake with steep, rocky shores. The cave was so peaceful, quiet, and beautiful that the hero felt mesmerized with the view. Should he go for a walk or closer to the moon? Let's approach the lake. Oh! The adventurer was drawn closer and closer to the dark water. He went up to the shoreline, looked at his reflection. Suddenly, a couple of tentacles shot up from the lake, tied around the hero, and took him underwater. Dang, we're dying quickly. So we're gonna move on. The hero went around the lake, and the other side there was a passage leading to another cave. Behind the lake was a ladder leading to a trapdoor. Suddenly, the adventurer saw some tentacles sticking out of the water, and a little further, a huge squid-like monster. The next moment, the tentacles went up and reached for the hero. Let's dodge. Oh, the adventurer jumped on the side, dodging the attack, but the tentacles went around the hero, taking a tight grip on him, This game is fire! But the tentacles went around the hero, tight grip, haven't done that squid easy to deep underwater. Alright, since I died so fast, we'll do one more run. I've got 20 of the 58 achievements in this. Oh, there's a Timinator achievement. Alright, so let's go through the window. Let's see what weight does. When the skeleton finally got up, the adventurer raised his sword. Wait, cried the skeleton, leaning on his sword. The hero stopped and looked at the skeleton. Be withered. I'm the guard captain of the castle. I can help you avoid the barracks, unless you'd like to have a chat with my heartless traitor guardsman. That is, you know, one does not simply walk around the barracks, said the old skeleton. Let's accept his help. The adventurer accepted the captain's help, and they walked through the secret door to the armory. Armory was a big chamber, we've read that. Let's open the door at the end. Behind the door was another armory, with shiny suits of armor hanging on the walls. All of a sudden, one of the gauntlets moved. Should the adventurer take a closer look or move on? Let's get out of here. The hero got away from the moving armor and went a long hallway with holes in the walls, piles of human bones on the floor. Should he crawl? Let's run. Oh! Adventurer dashed down the hallway as fast as he could, and the razor-sharp saws suddenly whizzed out of the walls, chopping the reckless hero into small pieces. Goes best with the guide. The adventurer felt there was something wrong with that hallway, and was right about that. As he was crawling through the bones, a giant buzzsaw went whooshing over from the walls, just where his hero's head would have been. The hero entered a large smithy. There was a hearth, an anvil, and other tools any smith has. On the walls, the adventurer saw swords and shields, and parts of armor, and some weird long pipes. The blacksmith wasn't in. Should the hero walk through the door which said recreation room, or bang on the strange pipe? Let's bang on the pipe. Oh, kaboom! The hero knocked on the strange pipe with the sword as hard as he could. Little did he know that would be the last thing he'd do in his life. The rocket detonated and exploded. A huge nuclear mushroom cloud rose above the forest, destroying everything and everyone in its way. Well, that was a weird death. So let's go on to the rec room. As he entered the door, a hero saw a bulky man in a blacksmith's apron sitting on a couch. A large sledgehammer was propped nearby. I need your help, friend. 2 days ago I sent my apprentice to the mine to get some uranium core, but he hasn't come back yet. He must have been taking a wrong turn and was caught by the spider. He might still be alive. If you help me find him, I'll show you the way to the engineer. I have commissions from the Interstellar Confederation to build gazillions of warheads. They're losing the war, you see, and I won't make it on my own. Are you in? Let's help him. Okay, I'll help you, said the adventurer. Follow me, I'll show you the way to the mine, said the smith, and he led to the way. Remember, to get the spider, take the tunnel to the right. Don't touch the spider, just rescue the boy and come back as fast as you can. Do as I told, and you might have a chance to survive. Alright. We're going to the right one. The tunnel led to the hero to the vast cave covered with cobwebs, with massive cocoons hanging from the ceiling. Let's walk in. As he walked on, the hero heard something moving under the ceiling. Out of the darkness appeared a huge spider along with two smaller ones. They went down on their cobwebs and ran towards the adventurer. The big spider trailing behind the small one, with its jaws wide open. What should the hero do? Kick one of the small spiders aiming at the big one, or cut both small spiders with the sword? Let's kick a shorty. The hero kicked one of the small spiders, aiming right into its leader's mouth. While the big spider was busy chewing its prey, the second bug attacked the adventurer. Should he cut it in two or kick it? Let's slash it. The adventurer whooshed his sword again. The other shorty fell apart. Meanwhile, the big spider had finished with the small one and prepared to attack the hero. What should he do now? Throw a sword at the spider, or run and strike at it? Let's do a Swordbreaker attack. The hero took a run and thrust the spider with all his might, plunging the Swordbreaker into the skull, and a moment later fell apart, revealing some nasty slime. The adventurer went down the cave and stumbled on a human skeleton. It must have been here for ages. In his hands, the hero saw a scroll. Did he take a closer look? Let's read the scroll. The adventurer unrolled the scroll. As soon as he read it, he lost his bearings and disappeared. Alright. Let's walk past. Oh! The adventurer decided to walk past the strange creature, hoping it wouldn't notice him, but the alien thought the hero was going to attack him and shot from his blaster. A plasma beam hit the adventurer and his body turned into a pile of greenish glowing ashes. It is smooth. Alright, well, it is zombie day, so I have to get to dinner so we can watch some Walking Dead stuff. This will be the end of my stream of Swordbreaker The Game. It's a very fun point and click, just old school text game. Anyway, I will be back with Falconeer tomorrow night on the Ambassadors channel, so tune in for that. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Stay safe out there.
A long time ago, there was a young adventurer somewhere in a parallel universe. And his name was... well, we're not sure about his real name. All we know is that his nickname was the Swordbreaker. Once, when he was in a tavern spending his last money on a pint of beer, he noticed two men at the next table arguing about something. One of them stood up, smashed a bottle against the table, and stabbed the other one with its jagged edges. The next minute, the villain was gone. The adventurer rushed up to the dying man. In his dead throes, the man grabbed onto the hero's clothes and, just before breathing his last, handed him a scroll. Later, when the hero shut himself in a room he'd rented for the night, he unrolled the scroll, which turned out to be an old map with a castle. The adventurer's face lit up. He was broke and badly needed money. So the next day, he set out on a great journey, full of dangers and chance encounters.